Hi guys, welcome to the Pearls of Color podcast. I'm Sarah, and this is episode 23. You can find me on Ravelry as Sarloz, on Instagram as Sarloz_Pearls of Color, and you can find my blog, which basically is just where you can find show notes for the podcast. The blog is pearlsofcolor.blogspot.com. Occasionally I have other posts up there that are podcast videos, but not too often. Anyways, if you watch on YouTube, you can find the link to the podcast, the link to our Ravelry group in the description section. Thank you for returning viewers. Thank you for anybody new watching. If you have been watching, you know I don't record on a regular basis anymore because it's really hard for me to find a spot to record, and it's been hard to find the time that corresponds with a place for me to record. I currently live with my boyfriend and his parents, so it doesn't leave me a lot of room to move around and record a podcast. It's just the way it is right now. However, that's going to change. Me and my boyfriend have been looking for a while for a house, and we finally found one. It's a little townhouse unit, like right there. It's, if you actually look out this side window here, you can see the back porch and the bedroom window. So it's super close, which is nice because it's on the same street, but the street actually branches off into a couple of cul-de-sacs. So it's in one of those cul-de-sacs. So it's close enough to be like super close to family, but far enough to have privacy. So it's actually technically next door, because the next house in one of the cul-de-sacs, that's where we're gonna be. So next door, but technically not next door because it's not right next to this house. But anyways, it's super exciting. We're in the early stages, so we've signed the paperwork, we've had the house inspection. There's a few stuff that needs to, there's quite a bit that needs to be done before we move in. We're redoing the kitchen over, we're adding hardwood floors and recessed lighting into all the rooms, and of course there's painting that needs to be done. We're also moving the laundry from in the garage upstairs to the floor with the bedroom and the main bathroom. There's a closet up there we're going to convert into a little stackable laundry unit, and then we're gonna move the linen closet somewhere else upstairs, hopefully, so that we still have that up there. But I didn't like the idea of having my laundry in the garage where there's going to be a car coming in and out during snow and rain and gross weather. So we're moving it, and hopefully we'll be moved in by August. I'm hoping to be in by July 13th, which is my birthday. I'd like to be moved in and settled in by then. That would be so nice, but I don't think it's going to happen. We signed all the paperwork for the price and everything. We just have to go get everything through the bank, but we have been pre-approved for a good chunk of money more than what we're going to be spending on this unit, so that should work out just fine. And for those of you who are, I talked to on Ravelry, or, who have been watching the podcast, you know that we've been looking for a bit now, and, it's super exciting that we finally found something. It is a 2-bedroom place, so when we first move in, we're going to convert the spare bedroom into a little recreational room, so it's going to be a craft room / computer room. Computer room for my boyfriend, craft room for myself. So I'm excited. That means I'll have a place to record on a regular basis. So I expect once we move in and get settled to record Saturday or Sunday mornings while the boyfriend is still sleeping. So, hopefully that'll work out, and I'm super excited about it. I can't wait, and it'll be a new journey to start, which is exciting. And, I just can't wait. It'll be great. Let's see, what else? I'm home today from work. I had a medical procedure done. This last month has been quite stressful, but it shouldn't be anything serious. The doctors think everything looks normal. They just want to be safe and check everything out, because if it is bad, it could be really bad. So, don't think it is, though. It shouldn't be. Everyone tells me not to worry. It does not look bad. So, hopefully everyone's right. And I'm just trying to follow all the doctor's advice and their input and trust their judgment, because I am a jump to the worst extreme conclusion kind of gal, and which is why it's been very stressful. And to be honest, this particular issue has been one of my biggest fears my whole life, and being so close to it being a possibility has had me very emotional, very on edge. But I'm trusting in my doctors. They've all seemed to be on top of things. As far as this situation goes, I've had others in the past recently that I felt like the doctors have not been on top of things, but this one I'm feeling pretty confident in the people that I've seen. So, I should find out by the end of the week if there is anything I should be worried about or not. So, that's that. I do want to go right into what I have to show you guys. There's not too much. Like I said, it's been quite a stressful month. I finished my grad class the beginning of the month, and that's left me with a couple weekends now that I've had to knit, but I've also started a new diet plan. I guess that's what you could call it. I'm doing the 21-day fix, which is a combination of healthy eating, making sure you're getting all your food groups, and following a certain calorie type count. You don't actually have to count calories in this. You have containers that you measure your food out in. As long as you're eating the recommended amount of containers, you're good. And it's also, they give you DVDs and you have your own exercise videos to work out to, which has been working great so far, because my boyfriend's been getting back into his rowing machine downstairs. So we set up a little TV in the basement, and I go down there and do my workout, and he does his rowing machine. I'm not sure how that's going to work out at the new house, because, we don't have, extra space to do stuff like that. We don't really have a basement. We have a garage. I'm trying to convince him to put a small wall up in the garage. So, if the garage is pretty big, we're going to have to use it for some storage space, but I'm hoping we can bring the car in, see how much room the car takes up, and then put up a wall for the rest to either use as a storage space or to turn into a little workout room. I have to text my boyfriend about that, see if I can get in some. I'll see if it would even work, because I don't know. So, anyways, it's been taking up a lot of time. It requires a lot of meal prep right now. And it requires, time to work out. I have to clean up, and I don't know, it's just been taking me a lot of time during the day to do everything. But, I have gotten some knitting in. Not as much as I would like, but I have gotten quite a bit in lately. And I will go ahead and start showing you some of that stuff. I have 2 whips to show you and 2 finished objects. The first finished object is my Looking at Her shawl. This is the second one I've knit. For anybody who is looking for a nice cozy shawl, I highly recommend Lydia's pattern. It's Looking at Her shawl by Lydia B, who is one of the gals from Oloops Yarn, and she's a duo. She's one of the co-hosts of Fiber by Design podcast with her business partner Sarah. And they recently, in their Oloops group, had a knit along for the shawl that I had joined. The last episode, I show off the first one I finished, And I have this as a whip in that episode too. So I just want to show you the finished object. What I really love about this shawl, which you can't really see in this lighting, but so this variegated has purples, it has greens, some browns, some yellows, some tans. But what you don't notice on the camera is that it has a really peachy quality to it that doesn't show up unless you see it in person. The red that I used really pulls that peach background out, and it's really, really gorgeous. And let me show up. I'll show you the detail up close. So what it does, so when you knit it, the detail is on this side, switches to that side, switches back to this side, and ends in a ribbon. And I love it. My Looking at Her shawls are the most used right now. They're just really comfortable to wear, and they're cozy, and to be honest, every time I wear them, I get compliments about how thin I look. I think that has a lot to do with the shawl, to be honest, and the way it draws people's attention. So I wear them a lot. I won the red one a lot because the teal one I made has to be washed. My student sneezed the other day and got it all over the shirt I was wearing, and I was not sure whether or not it got on my shawl. So it is sitting in a basket waiting to be soaked. You know, kids can be a little gross at times, and you know, they can't help it. It's allergy season, but I didn't want to take the risk. So it's waiting to be soaked. I would put that back on, but it's a little warm in this room right now. It's a little humid and muggy out. It's rainy, so I'm going to keep it off for now. And then my next FO. Oh, you know what? I should go over the yarn on this. So the striped yarn, which is gorgeous, the variegated, I love it so much, is by Storied Yarns. I think the dye's name is Jessica Cook. She no longer dyes yarn. I have 3 more of her skeins that I'm kind of covered in because I really do love her yarn, and I really wish she still dyed, but she doesn't. I keep posting her on Instagram and tagging her in the projects that I make using her yarn, telling her how much I love it in hopes that she would start dyeing again, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And the red on this is from O-Loops. It was part of the Harry Potter colorways. I believe it was in the first Harry Potter knit-along. Bergen and something. I forget. It's on I'll put it in the show notes. And if I don't put it in the show notes, if you go to my Ravelry project page, you can find it on there. And that yarn was gifted to me by NM Stacy on Ravelry and Instagram. She was my swap partner, and she was a very great swap partner. I loved my package and the yarn she gave me. And it was the perfect color for me, and I knew it had to be a shawl, and it made a wonderful shawl. So that's that. My next project is my May Desert Wristed Dyework socks. I also entered them into the Grocery Girls Fancy Feet Cal because I decided to knit these in double pointed needles, which I don't ever use for socks. I used double pointed needles once to knit like a 1-inch sample just to try them out. So when I first learned to knit, I went through a knitting book and tried everything out in there. Little swatches of different pattern designs, how to use double pointed needles. That was 10 years ago. And like I said, I only used it for like 1 inch of material. I've never used it for socks. So the Grocery Girls Cal is to try a new technique out on your socks. So I tried out using the double pointed needles. I used a 1.5 US, which is a 2.5, I believe, millimeter. They were my Chagu double point needles. I am not sure how I feel about the double pointed needles right now. once I got knitted on them, I thought it went really fast. And, you know, I got into the groove. I didn't have to think about it. I was automatically switching that fifth needle in and out. However, I did find it fiddly at first. So I did toe up. I might try cuff down next on them just to see how I like them. But the thing is, I found the purling very, not purling, but like switching between purls and knits for the rib really tedious. And my gauge is awful. Like my tension on these is so not even. You can tell, like they don't look great. I don't have ladders, which is good, but they just, like, some stitches are a lot tighter than others. So I'm still not sure how I feel about double pointed needles. I started the sock off using 2 needles with a third to knit because I thought 3 was just too fiddly for a toe. Once I got all my toe stitches on there, I switched to a 3 needle formation, knitting with the fourth needle until I got a good length on here, and then I switched to a 4 needle formation, knitting with the 5th needle for the rest of the sock because it was just too fiddly with the 4 when there wasn't a lot of fabric. And then so I knit the whole foot, switched to a magic loop for the cuff because it was just too tedious with the double pointed needles, and I did the toe in a magic loop as well. So all in all, they went okay, but I'm still out on how I feel about double pointed needles. I don't know if I would knit socks often with them, but I am willing to give it another try and see. So here are my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. I have a, it's a 3.5, a little more than 3.5 cuff from the from like the heel point up. I think you only need a 3-inch one for the knit along, and for the Desert Vista Dyeworks knit along. For those of you who don't know, it's knit 12 pairs of socks using at least half a skein of her yarn each month. So you have a sock each month that you make. It used just a little smidge over 50 grams. It's not 51 grams. It's flat that I use, but it is 50 grams. I used a 1.5 needle, like I said, on these. Toe up. I used a modified, like, rounded toe, wedge rounded toe, I should say, because I only do increases on the sides that I do for all my socks. And I did a true afterthought heel. I do it according to Kirby Werby's tutorial, which I thought was great. So I don't get any holes on the edges. And super easy. I think it's super fun. I'm so glad I tried it because now it's my go-to. Previously, I have always been a cuff down girl, and I've switched. I do really like toe up with my afterthought heel. I used to do cuff down with a double gusset. I still like the double gusset, and I still do cuff down, but only for my boyfriend's socks right now. Occasionally I'll do it for myself too, but I do prefer this whole toe up, add in the heel after thing. I enjoy it a lot that way. So, yeah. Please excuse me. And, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I only had 2 whips. I've got 3 in front of me. The first whip is my autism awareness socks. I did not get them finished for April. Things just came up, and I don't even remember what I was finishing up in April. I don't know, but I never got to finish these socks. What I decided to do was I really liked the texture that it's kind of like a broken C-stitch. I started it in the texture, and I really liked the texture, but then when I looked at the back of the sock, I loved how everything was pooling, so I decided to combine them both on the front, because I didn't want to rip out again, because I started these socks like 6 million times. So the pattern goes up in kind of like a slant. So you've got your bottom texture, and then it goes up plain, and the design switched a little because of gauge and stuff like that, the difference between doing a pattern and not doing a pattern. But overall, I still really like how it's striped up like that, and I love that each individual color on there pops, and you can definitely see the yellows, you can see the blues and the reds. Yeah, so this sock is actually knit using 2 different colors. It's a little tight on this edge where the colors switch, so I'm trying not to pull the yarn as tight there, because I'm using two skeins. I've got this really variegated skein from No Makers in her Wonder Woman, and it's in her Stellina base, her sparkle yarn. I forget what it's called on her website. This was a gift from Julie, who is Julie Pooley on Ravelry and Instagram. She had knit a pair of socks with them and had some leftovers, and I had mentioned to her I was thinking about getting it, and she was like, oh wait, I got extras. So I believe we did a swap. Yes, we did. I sent her some Bernie Bots from No Makers that had a contrast in skein and to make up for the difference in weight, and she sent me her Wonder Woman. It's a gold Stellina. I don't know, do you see that right there? Like right there? You can kind of, I don't know. You can see it a little bit, but it is gold Stellina, and I really like it. And I'm using just a bare Felici. So I do 1 round in the variegated, 1 in the Felici, and I keep switching it back and forth. The Felici, of course, is not sparkled, but I think there's enough sparkle in the sock. It's not super sparkly, but there's enough. I like it a lot. I am just at the heel, so I knit about 7 1/4 inches, and then I mark it with a stitch marker on the back usually, and then that's where I know to put my afterthought heel, and then from there I'll knit. I have about 3 more inches to knit on this, 3 to 4 inches, which is my liking for an ankle sock. My calves get pretty massive pretty fast, so I'm strictly an ankle sock kind of gal. So yeah, I actually might knit on this today, because the other project I have going that I have to knit on, I'm not sure I want to be so fiddly today. I'm a smidge sore, so I don't know. I might work on this one for a while, because I'm almost done with it, at least with the first sock. So I might just finish up this sock and then work on my other sock. But that's what I got so far. I do really like it. Also, I was wondering if you guys were interested in having the pattern written up. I haven't gotten to do much pattern writing lately because of school, but I was thinking about writing this up into a pattern for the texture design, and then I'll put instructions in there how to do like the striped with the two striped type yarn like this one if you have a highly variegated yarn. But I also want to do a sample of it in like a semi-solid or a variegated plain so that you guys can see how that looks. Yeah, so just let me know in the comments if you'd be interested, or in the Ravelry group, because I like it. It would be a fun pattern, I think. So there's that project. I am also working on the Fuzzy Mitten Knit Along, and for those of you who don't know, that is Barbara Prime. She is the owner of Fuzzy Mitten and Fuzzy Mitten Designs. She actually has an iPad app coming out, which is like using some of her knit creatures in it. So, what was it called? I forget the name of it. But I'm excited. I think it's coming out in Sweden. But I'm excited to see how it looks, because it's really neat. I'm going on Ravelry to see if I can pull up a picture of it for you guys. I have been a fan of Barbara pretty much since I started knitting, and she was the first toy maker I came across. Her designs, I have knit several of her designs. One of her favorites is her Scrappy Chaps Savannah animals. I love them. She has a zebra, a rhino, a zebra, rhino. Oh, I can't think of the other animal in that group. Hold on. I just pulled up her page so I can tell you. I'm going to show you that pattern, guys, because if you have not seen it, it's such a great pattern. Oh, an elephant. How could I forget that? So I've done the striped zebra with different colors using chromo yarn, and I've even turned it into a unicorn using the little rhino horn. I altered it a little bit though, but you could still just use that horn to make it a unicorn. Yeah. So it's her name is Barbara Prime, and she calls like her blog was the Fuzzy Mitten, and that's kind of what she calls her animals. She has like a free lamb pattern for you guys, but hold on. Sorry, I was trying to find the name of what Fuzzy House Game. So she's got some characters knit up, right? And those pictures of them are actually like in the game, and you can dress them up and stuff. It's really very cute. There was a link somewhere. I found it online, but it's going to be a Fuzzy House Game. It's an app game, I think, on the iPad and the iPhone. Anyways, I am part of her knit along, her mystery knit along this year, and it is for those of you who are still working on your project. You might want to turn away. However, I'm pretty sure the knit along is over, and I am very far behind because I haven't been knitting much. But here's the first couple clues. So it's a body, legs. I got some stitch markers to mark where my arms are going to be. And it's a very, very different pattern because it is not an animal. And I'm sorry if I ruined this for anyone, but she does have the pictures up in her projects and her pattern now, so I don't think I'm giving too much away. So it's a little like fairy. So they've got some fairy ears and I wish I had more pictures to show you, but it's got this cute little jumper with leaves on it, and there's a little cape to go with it, and it's a really cute pattern. So that's what I've got so far. I think I'm going to do the jumper in this like seafoam green, and I think I have some darker brown to use for her hair. But yeah. So there's not much of that project to show you, but I am working on it still. And this last whip is one of my favorites. It's in this adorable strawberry shortcake bag I got from Oddly Adorable Bags, I think it's called. She did a kit. I was hoping she had a tag. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Oddly Adorable Knits. And she makes these cute little drawstring bags. I actually really like it, and I'm not huge on drawstring bags, but it closes really well. It doesn't have interfacing in it, but it's a really great, like if you fold it down, it stands up mostly on its own when you have stuff in it. It's a great like grab and go, throw in your bag type of drawstring. Really like it. It's well made. The kit came with a little matching notions pouch, which I love, and I think I need to buy more of these so that I can throw them in my other bags. It came with some stitch markers, so it came with these adorable, there's one for the cat, and it came with the one that's on my project, I'll show you in a second, and then it came with some snag-free stitch markers and coordinating colors. It also came with a skein of yarn from Knit Mona, which was white and green striped to match Strawberry Shortcake socks. How awesome is that, guys? Anyways, the project I'm knitting right now are some watermelon slice socks. Look at that. So the pattern is kind of like a twisty design going up the front. It's made up of knit and purls. I really enjoy it. You add your beads. I'm using the floss method, where you take like the floss you use for your braces and you put the beads on using that. There's a great tutorial on Knit Picks for that, and I'm sure you can find some great ones on YouTube for beading with it. So there's the little stitch marker. I actually added it to a little lobster claw because I don't like this, just the ringed ones that hang down. I always get tangled in my yarn with them, so I added a little claw to it. And isn't she adorable? This was a kit I got. The watermelon slice pattern was a kit I got from Knitter's Brewery, I think. Hold on. Sorry, I do always mean to write show notes and just never do for you guys. I do apologize. But I'm going to pull the pattern up to tell you. Watermelon Slice Socks by Knitter's Brewing Company. I'll show you the picture. You can, if you look for watermelon slice socks, it'll come up on Ravelry too. Are those not the cutest things? So I'm knitting a pair of those. These are also going to be entered into Grocery Girl's Fancy Feet Cal because this is the first time I've done beading. I actually bought this kit 3 years ago specifically to learn how to bead. I watched a bunch of videos on beading and the different methods. I was well prepared to do the beading. I just never got around to do it. It was one of those things I just kept putting off. And now I finally have felt motivated to do them. It's a great time of year because summer's coming and there's such a summery sock. And there's the capital, obviously, to get me motivated. So I'm knitting these magic loop on a size 1 US, I think. Yep, which is 2.25 millimeter. These are my Chagu needles. Still one of my favorite knit needles to use. Yeah, and that's that. I'm not too far into these because they took a back burner while I finished my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. I have until June 15th to finish these to enter. So that's, you know, this has been my main whip that I've been working on after finishing my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. And it comes with the pink, a mini skein of the green, a mini skein of the white, and I'll have plenty to knit these socks. The yarn is a 75 merino, 25% nylon. It's not the nicest feeling yarn for socks, but it kind of has the feel of like an opal sock. So they're definitely going to wear really well. They're still soft, just not as soft as my other merino 75-25 merino nylon blends. But it's definitely going to wear really well. I'm excited for them to finish. I probably won't wear them with socks because of the beading. I mean, I probably won't wear them with shoes. You don't wear socks with socks. Although I used to do that. I used to double up my socks, but now I don't. Not since I've started knitting socks. I don't need to. Because they're warm enough now. But I won't wear them with shoes most likely because of the beads. I don't know how they would feel on my foot in a sneaker, but I will probably wear them around the house a lot. And then I wanted to share some new purchases I've gotten with you guys. I don't do enabling often, but I did want to show this to you guys because it's kind of my review, I guess. I finally joined Yarnbox, and I joined their sock one. I don't know how long I'll continue with it, but I wanted to give it a try. I've heard some wonderful things about it. So I joined the sock one. My first club membership, or whatever you want to call it, came last month, and I got the yarn they were showing off. What do you call that? Advertise. I don't even know what the word is. It's not in here right now. I apologize. Anyways, their box was Forbidden Woolery, which is not it's not a company I'm familiar with, which is why I joined. This is why I joined the sock box, because I wanted to be introduced to new dyers, and I mostly do sock yarn knitting. So I'll do a few rounds of this, and then I want to do switch over to a few rounds of their regular box and get like different weight yarn and stuff like that. So my first one was the Forbidden Woolery in the Full Moon colorway. It's a very semi-solid, I want to say it's like a kettle dyed denim blue. I mean, that's coming out way bright blue, but it's more of a denim blue, and it's not my favorite color. I thought I'd make some socks with for my boyfriend with it. There are some people in the group who are looking for this colorway, so I was thinking about maybe setting up a trade. It feels really nice though. It's a really squishy yarn. It looks like it has a really great bouncy twist to it. However, like I said, I'm not a fan of the color. I showed it to my boyfriend to see if he wanted socks from it, and he said I needed to make it a shawl. And I'm kind of agreeing with him. I was going to say I don't wear blue often, but in fact I do have quite a bit of blues and grays. Some of it springtime clothes, a lot of it summer clothes. I do wear it more than I like to say. Considering blue is not a color I love. But the more I look at it, the more I do think it needs to be a shawl. I'm trying to add more color to my shawls, because most of my shawls I have are pink. And I'd like different colors because I'm really getting into wearing them more. So I need something to wear with multiple colors, I guess. So I'm still not decided on whether I'm keeping it or not. But as far as the Socks Box Club, I am excited about it. You get a pattern, a yarn, and a skein of yarn. And I think it's like $19, $20 a month. So you are saving a bit of money if you consider most indie dyed yarn is roughly around $20, $25 a skein. So it's a pretty good deal. They have a Ravelry group too, so people can post the yarns that they've received, and then they can you can trade with people. Like they have a trade-in thread too, in case you don't like it and stuff like that. So I'm excited for my next box to see what it is. I do actually really love the way this yarn feels. It's an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 435 yards. And it's the Full Moon colorway. Ooh, that's a pretty good color representation. It's just a smidge darker. There you go. That's closer. So you see how it's kind of got this very like denim quality, like a washed pair of jeans. So I think it does need to be a shawl. I can just see myself wearing it with a white t-shirt or something. Not that I wear white often, but I'm hoping when I feel more confident after this, after I lose some more weight with this 21-day fix, I'll want to buy it more. And for those of you who don't know, the 21-day fix it goes for 21 days, but you can continue it and do multiple rounds. So I just started round 2. The first 21 days, I lost 5 to 6 pounds. I know quite a bit more people who've had more significant results, but I didn't follow it 100%, and losing weight has always been really hard for me, no matter what diet I use or how healthy I eat, because in general I eat fairly healthy, so then trying to diet becomes a little more tricky to lose that weight for me, because it's not like I'm making a huge drastic diet change. I'm eating very similar foods, just following proportions better and stuff like that. So it is a little more tricky when I need to lose weight, and I don't have the best digestive system these days. So yeah, let me get back to yarn. So there's that. And I am going to be participating in a very informal knit-along with Katie from Never Enough Time. For those of you who are part of the Ravelry group or have watched my podcast several, been keeping up with it, you know how much I love Katie's yarn. She's like my color twin. Everything she puts in her shop, I want. Her colors are just so me. Everything in her shop just calls my name all the time. Well, she just started she was inspired actually by my last podcast. She was inspired by my looking at her shawls. And she loved the speckled with the solid, semi-solid colors. So she is now making some one-of-a-kind shawl kits, I guess. So it's 2 skeins of yarn. It's a reasonable price. You're getting 2 skeins of 100 grams, 463 yards. I think her price is $44 for the set, which is like on average $22 for a skein, and I think her typical skeins cost about $25 by themselves. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. So the kits are a tonal, which is a semi-solid. She does repeat these colorways, but she pairs it with a speckled that is a wildflower, which is what she calls her one-of-a-kind, so you can't always get them. It's not a repeatable colorway. However, I will say, sorry, I reached over to grab. I got 2. When she dyes them up, she does dye like several of the skeins up at once. So my 2 speckle skeins are very similar, same colors and everything. I'm sure the placement's not exactly the same, but there was 4 sets available. So I bought one, got it, loved it so much, went and bought a second one. Because I figure if I make a shawl with this, I still want a pair for socks. So I bought 2 of those. And her and I are going to do a shawl knit-along. Just the 2 of us. I don't know if you can call that a knit-along, but it's going to be the 2 of us. We're going to pick a 2-colored shawl to knit. When I last talked to her, she was thinking about doing the Pure Joy or the Different Lines shawl. Both I love. And when I sent her my choices was the Lalo shawl by Shannon Cook, the Pure Joy by Joey Logitelli. What was my other 2? Oh, Pendulum by Amy Miller. And there was a 3rd one I picked. I can't remember that, so I guess that one's out of the running. I am leaning now towards the Lalo. If we do we're going to start the shawls when some of our whips are off the needles, and it's probably going to be July-ish. And if that's the case, the Lalo would fit really well into the Canadian podcasters Cal going on, because Shannon Cook is from Canada. So at first I was going to use my shawl set, because I mean that's why I bought it, right? But I have 2 of Katie's wildflower skeins that I thought would be really nice for the Lalo. So it's like this purple, like you can't really see the purples as well. That's better. Yeah, so it's like purple. So I was thinking about this purple as the top, with the bottom of the little shawl, this dark blues and blacks and purples are in there, speckles. The more I look at this, the more I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up the lay-low to show you guys what it looks like. I just opened my phone, and Katie actually sent me an Instagram message that I'm going to have to check out after the episode. I think she was just telling me that she dyed up some more sets. You know what, guys? I'm going to open that because I always want to give her a shout out and advertise her shop. Oh, she picked the colors for her shawl. And it's so funny. One of the colors is very similar to this. I love it. I love it. So, let me show you the lay-low shawl because that's what I think I'm gonna knit that. Anyways, while I find that pattern, let me advertise Katie's shop again. Never enough time, like the spice. And, oh, she doesn't have it on her label. Oh, but she has it right on the front. If you see, it's Never Enough Time yarn.etsy.com, and she has her email on her labels in case you need to send her a message. And she's always easy to reach on Etsy. She does custom orders if you ask her. She has some wonderful yarn. She usually has a sorry to go off screen. I'm sorry if you hear some jackhammering out there. Still doing the construction work. She's been doing, this is what I love now. Katie has been doing shorty sock kit sets. So normally she does a shorty contrast and heel toe sock set and a full one. So you can either get her full skeins with 100 yards, or not 100 yards. Yeah, 100 yards of a contrast and heel toe, or she has the full skein ones as well with 100 yards. I've been trying to get the shorties as often as I can because I only use about 50 grams in my socks, so it's plenty with the contrast and heel toe, and I love contrast and heel toes. This is her dragon fruit colorway. I love it. I think I'm going to knit this one up in this pattern design to see how that looks, and then see about whitening it up if people are interested. Okay, so I've got the lay-low pattern up for you guys to show you. And it just looks like a really large, comfy shawl. So you see how it's two colors? I think those are going to work out just fine. I'm a little concerned about the two speckles together, but this one is so, like, almost like the colors are so subtle, it's almost like a semi-solid variegated with a sparkle, so I think it's going to be more solid looking. So I think that'll be perfect. I mean, yeah, that'll look really nice. I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. I've decided. I thought maybe they were a little too close together, but you're not switching in between, like doing stripes or anything. It's literally one color and then the next. So I think that'll look really well, work well. So that's what I'm doing with Katie. Yeah, so that's about it, guys, for my knitting. I want to thank all of you who've watched the podcast and kept up with it, and who have been so patient for new episodes to come up. And hopefully, starting in a couple months, by the end of the summer, I'll start being able to record on a regular basis. Thank you for joining me. Happy knitting, everybody.